What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Bandai SH Figuarts Trunks from Dragon Ball Z. In case you weren't aware, he is a Dragon Ball Z character. It says right here, Dragon Ball Z. And like I said, here we have Trunks in the packaging. You can see we have base form Trunks, and we also get Super Saiyan Trunks, which I'm really excited about that. Kind of disappointed Vegeta didn't get the same treatment, but let's go over the box. You can see it does say Trunks right here. This is, of course, the premium colored edition. This color scheme is more toward the anime. The other one was for the manga. But we do have a nice pointillism drawing of Trunks there. On this side, an image of the figure. Pointillism continues on this side. On the back, we just have some pictures of what the figure looks like out of the box. And up here it does say Burning Attack, which is Trunks' finishing attack, the one he used to finish off Frieza. Not much more to say about the packaging, so what I'm going to do now is take a little break, get them opened up, and then we'll go on to the rest of the review, so sit tight, everyone. And so here we have Trunks posing out of the packaging. Now before we get onto the figure, let's actually get a good 360 of him. Trunks does come with quite a few accessories. I actually have him posed with two of them right now, his sword and his sculpt, which we'll get more into that in a little bit, but first I'd like to show you what he comes with, because he does come with quite a bit, and we'll get on to the smallest accessories, which are his hands. In total, Trunks comes with 10 pairs of hands, which means you get a right and a left one for each hand. We do have some sword gripping hands, so you can have him gripping the sword. And he does come with a pair of this hand. He also does have this open flat hand, which I'm going to guess it's for sword posing, like have him holding it with one hand and then having this hand out like he's running his hand up the blade, something like that. We also do get more style pose hands. And like I said, he does come with a pair of each of these hands. He also does come with an open palm hand, which is supposed to be for the burning attack. And then on top of that, he also does come with the fist hand, and like with all the other characters and other Figuarts figures, his hands just pop off really easily. And you can just peg the new hand on, and you can have him ready to just blast someone right there. So I really love the interchangeable hands. I don't know how I'm going to have my Trunks posed yet, but we'll figure that out later. But let's move his hands off so he can continue on with some more of his accessories. Trunks does come with a pair of interchangeable heads, and yes, when I say pair, I mean he comes with two heads. This is actually the head that the figure came with. It's just regular base form Trunks. And with this face, or with this head, we actually get another face, his more angry face, and popping the hair off is simple. You just grab right here, and there's a seam line, which, there we go. It's a little hard to find at first, but once you get it, it comes off. And you just pull the face off. Let's see if I can't do this on camera. Let's move the camera out a little. It's a little tricky at first, but once you get it down, it shouldn't be as hard. And I'm just having way too much trouble with this head. It just doesn't want to pop off. There we go. So we do have this head, which slides on, which we can slide that face on, so we can have a more angry Trunks, and then just pop his hair back into place. And then we would have angry Trunks. But besides base form Trunks, we also do get Super Saiyan Trunks, which I really do enjoy seeing that we get both base form and Super Saiyan Trunks. I think the seam on this one is a little more well hidden. If you look at it from the top, you can see it, but looking at it from straight on and maybe from the side, it's a little hard to find the seam. But with this Trunks, we do get three faces, actually. We get an angry Trunks. Whoop, and I don't know where that face rolled off to. Here it is. And then a yelling face, like he's finishing off Frieza with a burning attack. Now, if you're wondering if you can interchange the heads, like having like base form Trunks with Super Saiyan hair, you can't. The Super Saiyan hair have this little notch at the top. As you can see, base form Trunks does not. And it's also prevalent on this one that there is no opening, a little notch there. We can pull the hair off this Trunks, so you can see that there is a notch there. So Super Saiyan hair will not fit on base form Trunks, just letting you know, in case you were wanting to showcase him like, I don't know, getting ready to transform. Maybe you can do it. I don't know. But yeah, he does come with these two heads, which I really do like. I'm still torn on whether I want to have Super Saiyan Trunks or base form Trunks, but we'll see. On to his final accessories. And for Trunks' final accessories, we do have his sword and his scabbard. Now, in case you're wondering, he does come with two distinguished swords, and in case you're wondering why, it's because this one is only a partial sword, and it just tabs in like so. If you remember the Lucina review that I did, it's pretty much the same concept. He just comes with this small piece of the sword and it just tabs in. Unlike the Lucina, you can tab the sword either way, so you do get that. And then we also do get the sword by itself. It is not a soft plastic, so I wouldn't recommend bending it because it probably will break in hand if you roughhouse with it. So his hands are pliable enough that you can get the sword in, but I would suggest slowly wiggling it into the hand. Don't like hold the top and try pushing it down because you might accidentally break the sword and getting it out. Just ease it to the pommel and just slide it out. Really loving the paint job they did with this sword. It's really nice, a really nice silver, and then the blue. It was blue in the anime, but it's like a metallic slate color here. And then the wrapping is really nicely detailed. And it's basically the same mold for the handle. The only difference is this is the full blade, while this one is just no blade. But like I said, really loving this, so what I'm going to do now is move his accessories off, and then we'll go on to the actual figure. So sit tight, everyone. Let's see if I can't get the sword. Okay, sit tight, everyone, while I get the figure out here. And so here we have Trunks without any of his accessories. If you want to put his sword in, it does unpeg from right at the bottom. And you can see it has a little peg right here. There's a little hole in his back. And you just tab that into the hole. And then just tab this little slot back in the scabbard. And it is a little tricky and it doesn't want to sit at first, but if you work around with it a little, you'll be able to get it in there. It is a little problematic because it feels like this isn't long enough. You might want to try heating it up before moving it all the way down. Like I said, it doesn't fit as snug as I want because this part is actually floating. Let me see if I can show that off. You essentially have the figure holding the scabbard to his back. And you can see right here that the scabbard doesn't actually want to go all the way in. Like you can even see it's bending this way, and you don't want to do that, so I'm still trying to figure out how to properly do it without damaging the figure. So if you guys know, just let me know and I'll see if it works. If not, I'll figure something out. Moving his sword off to the side, here we do have Trunks by himself. No accessories, no sword, no nothing, but just the figure. So let's actually take a look at some of his details. Moving up, they did a really good job capturing the look Trunks had in the anime. You can see even his hair has that purple shade in it. Even his eyes are really done well. You can see the blue with his pupil in it, which is really accurate to the show. I do feel like this head kind of also looks like young or little Trunks. I know they're the same character, but I don't know, they could reuse this for like kid Trunks, and I wouldn't bat a blind eye to it. I don't know, that's just me. He does have his blue jacket. You can see there might be some darker wash in there. I really can't tell. And it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but you can see Capsule Corp logo. The camera will just focus on that. It's a little hard to tell, but it does say Capsule Corp right there. There we go. And there's really not much to say about the rest of his costume. He is wearing his black tank top his gray pants, and then we get to his orange boots, which are really nicely done. There is some shading in his boots. There's some darker orange in the wash. Not sure that's popping up on camera, but it is there. So really nice figure. I'm really liking the detail that they put in him. So let's actually zoom the camera out so we can go on to his articulation. He does have a ball jointed head, so his head does move on that ball joint left and right, slightly up and down. He also does have a hinge, which helps the head look down. He really can't look up because of the jacket. It's not soft enough that it's going to give him, but that's a little disappointing, but you can have the figure looking up with the rest of the articulation. His arms are on a ball joint. They are a ball socket. You can see they do rotate around. He also does rotate at that joint, as well as swivel out. He swivels at the bicep. He is double jointed in the elbow, giving you a really nice range of movement. And that ball hinge wrist, which gives the hand a lot of play and a lot of ability to move around. And surprisingly, his cuffs are a little softer than the collar, and I'm wondering why they did that. This jacket is an overlay. You could unpeg this like I just did, but like I said, it is an overlay and it's not meant to come off, but if you really wanted to, you can unpeg it. I'm not going to do that. He does have an upper torso, which moves left and right and has a slight bend. He also does have a lower torso joint, which gives you this range of movement. Like I said, he has a lot of movement in his torso. He does swivel. It is slightly tight on mine, and I don't want to push it further than this because I feel like I might put too much strain on the joints and break it. Legs go forward, back, and out. His legs also hinge downward, so you can increase the movement on his legs. So moving his leg up, we do get that thigh swivel built into that joint, and if you move it down, the swivel works better. And he does have a ball joint in the leg, as you can see. He also is double jointed in the knee, which works pretty well. You can get him in a lot of good poses with that. No boot swivel, ankle pivot, as well as an ankle hinge. You get a fair amount of rotation with that, so you can get him in pretty good stances. And then a toe hinge, because why not? It looks good with Trunks, and you might need it, especially posing him. So that's Trunks for you. So what I'm going to do now is take a little break, get him posed, and move on to my final thoughts, and we'll wrap up this review. So sit tight, everyone. So here we have Trunks posed for my final thoughts, and overall, I am really excited I picked this guy up. I was unfortunately unable to pick up his original release. I wasn't collecting Figuarts at the time. However, I really do think the premium colored edition is probably my go-to because I really do love the paint they did with the hair. It's just like Vegeta's. It's a nice, vibrant yellow, and you can see... I will admit this, that it is gooped up a lot on the back of his head. I'm not sure if I showed that off, but if you actually take a look, the back of his head, some of the detail seems to be washed out, and that's only because the paint is applied really heavy on his head. That's not to say it's a bad thing, but you know, when I think Super Saiyan, I think of this really rich, vibrant yellow color, and that's exactly what we get with a premium colored edition. The only complaint I have about this Trunks is I think he's missing a few faces that the original release had, which I'm kind of bummed out about, but at the same time, I really can't complain because I think the paint sells this guy, and I'm still having trouble with that scubbert. I don't know how to peg that in. Oh, is it supposed to be that far out? No, it isn't even coming out there. I don't know. Like I said, I'll figure it out eventually. But I picked this guy up from Big Bad Toy Store for about $50 shipped, which is pretty decent. It's about what you're paying for most import figures anyway, which I think is a really good price, especially with the amount of articulation and details that they're putting into this figure. With that, I don't know what more I can say about this figure rather than I do recommend him if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, excuse me, and you're just a fan of the Figuarts line. You really do need this Trunks in your Dragon Ball collection, especially if you missed out on his first release, like I did, unfortunately. But that's all I have to say, guys. I'm King Dragons 5000 saying thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, comment on the video. Tell me what you think of Trunks. Do you think he's an improvement over the original? Do you think he's worse? You know, just let me know if there's figures you want to see me review. Let me know, and if there's a place in my collection, I will review them for you guys. And with that being said, take care, everyone.